Is this thing on?
Welcome back to another episode of Spooled Life Live. I'm your host, Ram Garcia, and we are in beautiful Corpus Christi, Texas. And we have the luxury of being here at the Spooled Life Live Roy's Bait and Tackle studio here in Corpus Christi as well. If you've never been to Corpus Christi, Texas, right now coming down the road of 44, I noticed that all of the Amazon Prime vans are en route,
Oh, yeah.
right? Hurricane Alley has started pumping out water to the lazy river, and the margarita machines are at full throttle at the Trade Center. Just in case y'all are visiting Corpus Christi, Texas, right? We got all the support staff here at Roy's Bait and Tackle. Right now, I'm looking at Joe Alcala. He's ready to help out anybody that cruises into the Roy's Bait and Tackle fly shop, right? If you've never fly fished, we got everything you need to fly fish. That's something else. That's a whole show in its own, right?
It's a different spectrum.
Fly fishing.
It's a different spectrum.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a total different, what I like to call spectrum, right? I want to thank the headline sponsors before we get started. Roy's Bait and Tackle, of course. Sarge Custom Rods, Forever Last Gear, Sims Fishing Gear, JRZ Lures, Stinky Pants Fishing, the Coke Law Firm. In case you get into some trouble this weekend, the Coke Law Firm is ready to help, if not get you out of trouble, maybe minimize the trouble that you get into at Hurricane Alley this weekend, right? Cito Corpus Christi to get it. Hey, not all trouble happens with the law, right? You might get into some boat trouble. That's probably even worse, is boat trouble. Cito Corpus Christi is here to help. Carbach Brewery, right? I forgot to get our drinks out, right? But we'll get them here in a bit once we introduce our guest. And our newest guest, our newest headline sponsor, Z Pro Lithium, powering everything on your kayaks, boats, camping trips, right? What else?
I mean, if you want to live off of them at your home,
Yeah,
hey, you can get crazy. There's guys that get that.
Powering your home.
Yeah, like the solar whole thing.
Yeah,
you can rig up some stuff.
Oh, dude, there's people that just live off the grid. You can live off the grid off these things. Yeah. I got none other. I want to introduce my guest. A lot has changed since I've had this guest on 2 years ago.
Has it been already?
3.
Okay.
You were show number 2. We're up to 42 now, right?
Nice.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
It's a hell of an accomplishment. A lot has changed since then. We have we did away with the platter of poppers we had up in the front. We did away with that. We did away with it. It was at the true Spooled Life Live headquarters out of my house, right? We did away with that. What else? What else has changed? We're here at beautiful Roy's Bait and Tackle Studio. We have mics. You know, we got headsets. We got laptops. We got backpacks. It's almost like we went school supply shopping. You know what I mean? Every other post I see, maybe we could wait for current events, but every other post I see right now is school supplies. Most important, most predominantly, they're all TM.
Right.
School supplies, right?
Year round, all the year round schools.
Yeah.
For right now.
So right now it's the year round schools that are wanting school supply.
Yeah, I mean they're getting ready to start school. I think Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Monday.
Man, shout out to the teachers, right?
Yeah.
Those
My wife included.
Mrs. or Miss? How do you say that?
MRS. Period.
Mrs. Celinda Castro, TM High School.
That's right.
Y'all get ready. And she's a kindergarten teacher, right?
Kinder, man.
We should have introduced you first before we started talking about
Kindergarten Cop with her.
Yeah, kindergarten cop. Kindergarten teachers, shout out to you all. Shout out to all the teachers at St. Anthony's school in Robstown as well. That's where my little one goes to. It's a big deal, man. Y'all do some good work. Keep it up. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean? Right? Shout out to you all. Let's get started. None other than Mr. Chris Castro himself in the studio here at Spooled Life Live. Thank you so much for coming on for Parte
Hey,
Segunda parte.
you're here, dude. I mean,
Right?
you're talking about where we came from. Hey, you made it.
Yeah, we have been. We're super blessed with what everything that has happened with the show, where we've progressed, right? The headline sponsors that we're able to have, right? Without the headline sponsors, we couldn't have been here where we're at. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's a I would have never thought that it'd be this big, and we're like I said, we're super fortunate to be where we're at. So
Can I say something about
go
the
ahead.
show? What I appreciate out of it the most.
Hold on one second. Hey Joe, can we get the music down a little bit? All right, go ahead. Man, I had to I always have to say it because we actually had a show get kicked off because of the copyrights.
Mm,
It was picking up our background music, and we had to. So now I kind of remind myself to get the background music off before we get the show kicked off. We couldn't even we couldn't even hear the show. We didn't have no traceability of the show. It was just, hey, guess what? You don't own that Jay-Z. I think it was Jay-Z,
yeah.
that one he did with Beyonce or something like that. No, they said, hey, guess what?
Got tagged.
Yeah, it
for
was.
copyright.
Yeah, exactly. One
Yeah,
of
I know.
those.
Now, what I appreciate out of your show is just your and don't get me wrong, it has nothing to do with me, but your quality of guest
Mhm.
around the league, and what I mean by that is fishing, is just like superior. So I've gone back on a lot of your episodes on guys that I know they can catch and target specific things, and I'll listen to them. Like, I mean, quality of guest is everything. Sometimes I feel like a lot of these podcasts or live casts, however you want to classify them, just sort of bring in because they need to push out content, but you
Right.
really focus on quality of guest, and not has nothing to do with amount of followers, has nothing to do with how popular you are. It's just quality of guest, as in how good of a angler you are, like fishermen. And those are the people I want to listen to, or
Right.
it could be just somebody interesting, like a female up and comer, and I want to know who this, he or she is,
Yeah.
because he's been doing great. He or she has been doing great things in the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's quality of up and coming, quality of angler. It's everything, dude. So
Yeah.
you're
And
getting,
not necessarily you have to be, and I appreciate those kind words. Not necessarily. There's a lot of good anglers, bad to the bone anglers that just don't like the media scene.
no, I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I
Maybe,
get it.
but I'm getting kind of thirsty. Right.
Okay.
I forgot to get our drinks up here. I'm gonna have to skip out right here and get our drinks from this ice chest. But keep on going, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, dude. So, well, what do you want to do? You want me to start from 101?
Start from day one. Day one.
Born and raised in
Who in the hell is Chris Castro?
born and raised in Corpus Christi. You know, I don't know. I mean, everybody's got that. I was fishing at a very early time kind of story. I was introduced to fishing. My first memory, Ram. I'm just gonna cut it right here, dude. Or start it right here. My first memory was me, my dad. No lie, because everybody always brings this into the story, but I really did have a Snoopy pole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we were right there at the L head, not the T head, but the L
Oh,
head,
yeah.
where you walk out in front of that little mini jetty
Yeah.
system. Me and my dad went out there, didn't catch a darn thing.
Oh, those are the best times.
Didn't really have the right tackle. Nothing was working. But what did work and what stays in my mind, like that carries over. And I can't even tell you how old I was. I'm pretty sure I was still in diapers.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah. Because I didn't live here for very long when I was born here. We brought up a crab off the rocks. I guess it was like
Yeah.
hanging on, picking at the little uprise on the bulkhead.
It was more like that.
Oh, ooh, I'm not
Try to
that
do that.
brained.
Try to do that after 15 car box. We'll try to do
So-
it at the end of the show.
So we, that was my first memory, and the fact that I felt that little bit of weight not so much a tug, but weight whenever I brought it up. I brought a story back to my mom, I was bragging about it.
Yeah.
And my first memory is of that. And then it sort of dissipates from there because, we're struggling here in Corpus when I was young. Parents had me, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to see this, when they were in college.
Oh, really?
So we were.
Man, I'm gonna stop you real
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead.
Shout out to I want to say Mrs. Castro again, but I'm talking about his mom,
Oh, yeah.
which is also another school teacher,
Yeah.
right?
Retired.
Oh, retired.
Administration.
Okay.
Started off as a school teacher, went into administration.
Shout out to all, like I said earlier, school starting Monday. Shout out to all the school teachers. But guess what? This show is not about the school teachers, guys, right? So I'm sorry, but shout out to you all. Carry on, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, it's all good. It was tough times. Both my parents were, first generation college graduates. Just trying to make it, dude. We're in the 80s.
It's a big deal.
This back when
82?
You had to pay for seatbelts. It was a
Oh, yeah.
luxury.
Yeah.
To get an AC. I'm joking. Actually, I think you were supposed to have seatbelts in the 80s, but I don't think your rear driver needed them. Now it's all
Back then, the seatbelt would just like,
or
you know,
from
it
the
would,
side. Yeah,
yeah, it would
Nissans.
cruise down. Yeah.
The Pontiac Grand Am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, dude. So I was introduced to fishing right there at a young age, but then as soon as they graduated, man, my life changed. Traveled, went to Houston, didn't stay there long before all of a sudden my life changed, dude, in the sense of I'm going from watching fishing tapes because I'm in Sugar Land and there's no fishing scene there, right? As a young kid, but I'm hungry and I'm thirsty for the knowledge of fishing and renting out these VHS tapes out of my local library in Rosenberg / Sugar Land. It's a weird little area as far as where they were drawing the boundaries back then. But all of a sudden my life changed. We moved out of state.
Uh-oh.
We moved out of state. Actually, we moved out of the country. I shouldn't even say state.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Where did y'all
Out of the
go?
country, man. I never really had a home until I really hit 6th grade.
Why? For work? What was it?
For work, yeah.
Okay.
For work. So we lived in Spain, specifically Asturias, which would be like a province or like a state as we would see it. And Gijón, Asturias, which was a port city. Not really a port city, but on the water, just like Corpus. And I picked it up there as a young kid, dude. Very limited rules back in the early 90s. I mean, I walked probably it's in the millions as far as population wise, but I would walk those streets alone and would see.
So you were a
fishery
bad boy.
develop. And I'd pop a coin here or two in the arcade games.
Yeah.
If that's bad enough.
So this is an American.
No,
You were an American at the time.
I was an American. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an American. You were like the what do you call those kids that come over? Exchange student?
No. I
No?
was with my family. An exchange
Oh,
student
yeah.
is somebody who gives their child an opportunity to live in a foreign country under.
I'm trying to picture you at school.
Oh, international school. Yeah, it was different. I was at war for 3 years
Really?
with the Spaniards. And if you're out there, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was at
It was
war.
tough.
Yeah, it was tough, man. We went to an international school. We were right on the edge of a river that we actually, as a group, we used to fish it. It was really cool, man. I can't tell you the species of fish that would go. They were almost like trout-ish.
So when you say group, you made friends.
Yeah, I made friends with Americans. So it's an international.
Oh, wow.
school. Yeah, had to make friends with Americans. Real quick, dude, my first interaction with that.
It was just Americans that
No, dude. It was half international and a quarter of Americans infused in that bunch. And I was at war for about 3 years with these kids because they did not like Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of what you guys hear on TV.
Yeah.
These kids probably heard it from the parents, did not like Americans. I got kicked in the back my first year.
Oh,
going
wow.
To check out the river. So we, our school was built up on this big foundation. And I was going down this little paver that you walk to. You got basketball courts. You got fields for soccer.
Was your mom a teacher there as well?
No, she
Oh.
stopped working.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she could not teach over there. It was weird the way that was fixed, I guess, or worked out. You couldn't really just bring your educational degree down there and just
Oh.
start working. There's some things you had to do.
It would have to be like a national kind of
I don't know. I really don't know.
Third or
That
something?
would be a question for my mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your next guest.
But you're there for your dad. Your dad's
Yeah,
work
yeah. My dad was there. He was working on a project for DuPont slash Floor Daniel at the time, and
But let's keep on talking about this gang you were affiliated with.
the American.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah. What color were you all and stuff? Like
So we
red,
were.
white, and blue and stuff, or
No, dude. Just I had to find my people, dude.
oh yeah.
My American people, dude, and because like I said, I got kicked in the back from this dude who was upset that I touched a leaf on his tree. I'll never forget it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. My first day at school, and my buddy, who is still to this day, thankfully for social media, Facebook, his name is Keith Odell. He came to rescue me because, dude, it was like 8 versus 1.
That's one thing you don't do while in Spain, man.
Yeah, you don't jack with their stuff, dude.
Do not mess with their
Rest in
leaves.
peace, regardless
Yeah.
of what you see on TV. So, I'm ready to go, dude. I mean, I'm from Corpus.
Yeah.
My bloodline's from Robstown.
Right.
I'm ready to go, dude. Do or die.
You're not afraid.
But this guy comes up and he's like, "I got you, dude." So
And he's from where? America as well?
No, actually, he was from Virginia. Yeah, Virginia. Keith Odell came up, and we were both. I mean, all of a sudden, we were just back to back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
And
Something
from
out of
there on
John Wick.
forward, there was a little bit of a fishing relationship on that back river that we used to like to hang out and just spend our time on. But what they did not expect, what I did not expect, was that
That he knew karate.
a lot of those Americans were pretty much, they're always protecting each other, dude.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
They did not like Americans.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, they let me in.
You're the last one.
They let me in and said, "Hey, look,
Were you the last one to join the team?
I see it in your eyes, dude. You guys are stressed out.
You need
If
help.
it's one thing I know how to do is survive." You know? So we teamed up and we took care of each other for about 3 years, and it was a good experience. At the end of the day, it was a good experience. A lot of wars unsaid, probably stuff that I probably wouldn't talk about here, but I would talk about later around a campfire.
Yeah.
But still to this day, I'm friends with all those dudes, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So then, after those 3 years passed, I found my way back to Texas, and I was in a cultural smash. I'm
Where are you at that point?
so at that point, I'm in Richmond, Rosenberg,
Okay,
just
Houston area.
south of Sugar Land.
Is it okay to say Houston area for that? Houston area, right?
Houston suburb.
Houston
Yeah, I mean,
suburb.
like 20-minute drive,
Right.
to get into the Houston city limits. And a lot has changed, dude. Dallas Cowboys won a championship.
I love getting into Rosenberg
Why?
because you're there,
Yeah,
right? If you're traveling to Houston, you see Rosenberg,
you're there.
you're there. Hey, mom, guess what? I've made it. I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Dallas. So when you got back, the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Well, it was after.
Okay.
I should repeat, because Dallas won in '92, and I'm not a Dallas fan, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you just
Right.
I was, I grew up my mature life in Houston, so I'm a Houston boy, dude. I'm an Astros fan. I bleed true orange and blue,
There you go.
unfortunately, right? Because I know you're a Dallas fan.
I don't really watch football too much unless there's like a bunch of carbach, the barbecue pit is on, there's a big water slide out in the front. There's a lot of money on the line. I think I mentioned all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if friends are over, then yeah,
Yeah.
right? If there's some good fajitas on the pit, you know what I mean? There's some good carbach. We're using some Texas beer salt. That brings us to a part of the show that I like to call Crack Open the Carbach. And today we're drinking, I say I'm drinking. Chris has some
I have a fist.
some things to go to after the show that cannot be alcohol related, and we respect that here at the show. We respect anybody that doesn't want to drink. If you do drink responsibly, guys, right? If you do not drink responsibly, contact Coke Law Firm, right? And they'll help you out for whatever things you get into. Today we're drinking Tasty Waves from Carbach Brewery, brewed in Texas. Let's see what it gives us here.
I do love my salt, though. I'll put salt on everything.
Oh yeah, I'm getting the waves there. Right there, I just pulled in to JP Luby. right? I popped out my pop-up tent,
Oh, really?
right? Put my seats under there, maybe about 10 feet away from the water.
Are you in the sand?
Yeah, my feet are already dug in there.
With or without socks?
I got sand all up inside my toenails because I forgot to clip them the night before. The waves are crashing up. The tide's coming up. It's already probably to the wheels of my Tundra, right?
Nice.
And I'm about to turn on the barbecue pit. All right.
Man,
All right. Let's
people don't
keep
like,
going.
understand how special the Texas coast is.
Yeah.
You cannot go in a lot of coastlines and turn on that barbecue pit on the sand,
Nor drive on it.
nor
Right,
drive on it. I just fished with the guy from the East Coast. We've been friends for 10 years, dude.
Wow.
I mean, I say friends. We've been pin pals. Pin pals.
Was he like incarcerated or something?
He's a Coast Guard guy.
Oh, I get it.
So he was tripping when I said, "Oh, bro, we just drive on the beach." He what? We drive on the beach. Never been in that
Yeah.
before. So he has no idea what
That's something they're trying to take away from us.
in what light.
They're trying to make the beach not drivable. You cannot drive. You could probably walk, kind of like the pins where you could go through the fence and walk. Everybody stages their stuff there. They want to make it like that.
They're like block it off or make it not make
Do not drive.
It's 4x4.
No 4x4 at all.
Oh,
I'm not sure the people from Breakaway Tackle can probably chime in a little bit better than me,
probably.
but
Sure.
yeah, they want to take away our drive access to our beaches.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
Doesn't make business sense either.
That's
for the
almost
city.
like taking away our 5 trout limit, right?
Worse than that.
But we'll get we'll get into that a little bit later on the show, right? But next, what I'm going to do is a part of the show that I like to call, I'm about to kick this carp up a notch, right? And we're kicking it up with Texas beer salt. Now, since you're not drinking, since you're a salt, right, guy? Taste some of this so you could tell us what it's about. Let's see what I'm going to get here.
No, I'm just kidding. That's actually pretty good.
Right?
That's definitely not sea salt.
No. I'm going to tell you
Got a
exactly
little
what
bit
it
of
is.
Sea lime to it.
Yeah.
It's got lime to it.
You want me to tell you what the
Salt
ingredients
put
are?
in your watermelon.
The ingredients, guys. This is Texas Salt Company out of Bandera, Texas. Ingredients: sea salt
Oh, really?
and lime powder. That's it.
Okay. Well,
We don't got no preservatives in this thing. Clumpiness is going to happen because there's no preservatives, right? Texas beer salt. If it says Texas on it, it's got to be good, right? Moving along, man. So you did some traveling. You're over here. Now you're a kayaker. You're bad to the bone. You're on YouTube. You're backed by some big companies in Texas, national companies, right? And I don't want to get into so much how you got from Spain to the level you are now, right? I'm gonna let the guests cruise into our first shows,
Okay.
right? And we explain a little bit of where Mr. Castro, what he did and what he has done and what it takes to get to the level that you're at, right? It's not easy, of course. There's a lot of push. There's a lot of sweat. There's a lot of tears. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of that. But that was episode 2. Episode number 2. Go cruise into our YouTube channel.
1. That was episode 1.
No, Poco Cedillo was number 1.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you were number 2, right?
Yeah.
So the episode is on YouTube, Spooled Life Live. Go cruise in there, check it out, show it some love, subscribe, and like with all capital letters, right? But this show is going to be more of what it's like once you're at that level. right? I want to jump into the real life aspects of
Okay.
pro,
So
like
now,
today,
yeah,
right?
it's oof.
So let's get into our next question. What is pro to you, right? What is,
Now.
yeah,
Okay, not then,
no,
but now.
right now.
Oh man, that's a man crap. See, Ramsey, this is why I love your show, dude. You ask the good
Guys,
questions, dude.
I'm telling you
Put
guys.
me on the spot. I love it. I love it absolutely. So that's such a great question because it depends on where you come from, man. I mean, I walk into, pro when I first started is very much different to pro today. To
Oh
be
yeah.
quite honest with you, so what I considered a pro back in the day, very much different to what I see today. And I don't know. I mean, it's got a lot to do with culture too, right? So if you ask an OG what a pro is, he's probably going to tell you, what do you do for a profession? Are you professional? Do you do this for a living? Or, that kind of thing. That was probably 10 years ago, sort of a representation. But then you get into this generation. It's like, that dude's pro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this dude just, you know, did an ollie. Oh, that's pro.
That shit's pro, man.
This
Yeah.
dude just
Kickflip.
did a kickflip and then put his tippy toe and stood his balance on a Coke can.
Yeah.
That's pro.
360 flip.
So it's generational, right? So if you were to ask me today what a pro is, it's somebody who's just doing things that you can separate from the rest of the crowd. It's somebody who's distinguished, for one. Somebody that shows at least some sort of a consistency within that distinguishment, right? It's got nothing to do with money. Even though if you go to the bass scene, that's why I say this is sort of generational. A pro kayak angler is probably a little bit more established on a financial aspect. But
Right.
here in the salt, it's still street credit, dude. We don't make enough in the salt to where we can say we're a professional kayak angler. To me, you got to hit at least 100K plus a year, or at least have the potential to bring in that, which
Yeah.
is very possible.
Yeah.
Actually, it is possible
Right.
in the bass world, but we ain't in the bass world.
No.
We're in the salt world. We're still kick flipping. You know what I mean?
We're still just trying to get
We're
our 2 feet
still,
on the
we're
skateboard.
in the 5-figure income. You know, we can make well over 10K on tournaments a year if you're good enough. So we compared apples to apples. If we want to classify it as a money, if you're just a pure kayak angler on a trail, if you can break over 10K consistently, then you know what? This guy is pro. If you're a distinguished angler and you're just doing stuff that not a lot of guys can do, no matter how old you are or how young you are, you're a distinguished angler. And to me, that is what a pro is, dude. And it's not you don't tell people you're a pro. Like, first off,
Right.
it's not a self-proclaimed title. This is something that's, because we're still in that street cred kind of era for saltwater. It's something that's just given to you. It's got to be given to you. You don't just say self-proclaim yourself to be. It's just, and it's something that people are gonna tell you, and you can brush it off. You can smirk about it. You can laugh about it. You cannot believe in it, but it's I think that title just has to be given to you right now culturally in the.
Yeah.
So you got to be distinguished.
Who's got to give it to you? Who gives it to you?
The public,
Other
populace,
pros?
the people that are following you, the people that love you, the people that appreciate what you're doing. It's maybe even sponsors. That's another segue into it, right? There's
Yeah.
different level of sponsorships or who you are within the industry. Some of that goes unsaid, right? But I think anybody but yourself, if you want to be classified as that, has to give you that title.
Yeah. You think there is such a classification here in the salt?
I think there is.
Yeah.
I think there is. Yeah. Whether we like it or not, especially me and your generation. Me and your generation, in my opinion, changed the industry.
Excuse me?
Yeah. I think we changed the industry quite a bit into what we see because you can separate.
How so?
Well, I mean, I think you can separate the generation in per decade, 10
Okay.
years. You know, so you got your 40, 30-year, which I would classify as an OG, me. You got your guys that came into it during the first big uprising, which is probably
So you're considering yourself an OG?
no, absolutely not. No. I mean, it's funny people do call me that, but I tell them, dude, not an OG. Don't get my age confused. It's not about what age you are. It's about how many.
So that's another one we cannot give ourselves.
I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, I think we're in that we're in the we just came out of, well, me. Ram, you've been doing this a lot longer than I have, I learned. You know, because there's guys that have been kayak fishing, right, to a certain point, and then there's guys that have been known for kayak fishing, and then that's where the public eye sees their trail or their lineage, rather. So there's a before and after. When you make that leap to the public eye versus what were you doing before you were when you were underground, I should say.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's why I said earlier that there's a lot of people that are good anglers, right? They're good kayak anglers. They're good saltwater anglers, freshwater, but just don't want to be in the media light,
Right.
right? Whether it be they just don't like it, you know, their wives get mad at them because they have Facebook, right? Or whatever it may be, right? To know that person without them having Facebook, you know, or Instagram or MySpace or TikToker, then that's something that's credible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what you're saying is pro is not about how many records you have.
Right.
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 Or how many.
It's a piece, but not about.
Right. How many trophies you have.
Right.
How many checks you've cashed.
Right.
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 If you could define pro in one word before we move on to our next question, because we're running out of time here. We've already been going 32 minutes. After this next question, we're going to give something away, right? And you already know how I feel about my giveaways. I feel that they're damn good. And this is going to be another one. If you could define pro in one word, I'll give you, since you've been on the show twice, I'll give you 2 words. What is it?
Passion.
Passion. You got to have that. That's number 1.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you ain't going to get to the 3-letter word I like to call pro.
Yeah.
Right.
Passion. Got to be passionate, dude.
Yeah.
Not you know, how could I say this, Ram? It's not about, it's more than just putting in the work, right? So you want to go in there and you want to put in the work. You want to do the work. Well, that's free, dude. You know, that's free.
Yeah.
But passion is not free.
Not really. You got to buy a fishing license, gas, right? You got to buy a kayak.
Effort is what
It's
I was
effort.
trying to say.
Yeah.
Effort. You know,
yeah, you got to put in some effort for
is
sure.
Free effort is given to you. Everybody says, "Well, I'm out there putting time on the water." I get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
the want. Everybody has the want.
yeah, but if you were to plug in a pro, just because you're trying doesn't make you pro, dude.
Right.
I think passion makes you a pro. I think
there's a lot of people that try and just give up
100%
and try something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because you know, I can try to do this because of to build a fan base. I can try to do this because I want to make money. I can try to do this because I want me, or I could just do what I love and be passionate about it, whether it's 1 eyeball or 100,000 eyeballs. And I think that is what separates everything, dude. Is passion. Yeah. And if people pick up that, well, then they see it naturally.
Right.
You know, naturally, not self-proclaimed. And it comes back to your initial question: is what is a pro? It's somebody, dude, who's going out there, who's passionate, who's consistent, who's doing great things in the industry, and who's defined himself away from the crowd. So it's a very complicated question to me.
Yeah.
Because you asked at right now, if I'm new coming in, it's different. It's just that dude's consistent. That dude's a pro. Okay, well, how long is he consistent for?
Right.
And then it drops off. And that's where my development of that definition as I've gone into this industry has changed. So,
Pros, staffs, and ambassadors.
it's a good one, too. What do you want me to ask about?
What's the difference between them?
Oh, man. It's changed throughout the years.
I think now they're so intertwined
It is.
with each other.
It is.
They're like this almost.
They are.
You know what I mean?
They are. But, that was a pretty good grip of fingers there. But if you're going to be like this, I think you need to self-value yourself, right? So at some point, once you get into that pro ambassador, that cluster,
Right.
it's up to the individual to define his value beyond that, right? So you get the guy that separates himself and puts himself in front of everything else. But you have to have done things to get that. You have to have put in the effort. You better be the last dude that gets off the water to make sure that you are given that title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's passion.
What title are you talking about?
To separate themselves from a distinguishment outside of pro, ambassadors, all that stuff. Because to me, you're right. It's clustered. We've come to this era where pro staff was sort of stained a little bit.
Right.
Right. But why was it stained, Ram? I'm asking you now. Why was it stained? Why is that terminology stained?
Media.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the media has a lot to do with it.
Okay, so why though? What within that media? What is it? Is it fanboys? Is it something that these guys just couldn't get to a certain level?
Well, I think just as human beings, our mentality is we want to do better, right? We want to, as a father, right? I want to do better. I want to give my little girl the best life she can have, right? I want to give my wife the best life they can have, and I want to succeed as well, right? When I go to work, I wake up in the morning, I'm the first one to leave the house, right? I may not be the last one,
right,
to get back, but I am the first one to leave, right? And I go check in everybody's room and make sure they're still asleep, make sure they got the covers on them, and make sure the AC is still working, and stuff like that. And I go try to succeed, right? Out in the real world, I think with media and the fishing scene, the new coming anglers see the OGs, right? They see the OGs posting their big fish, right? They see the OGs, and I say OGs, right? Lightly.
Yeah.
Right? They see the OGs holding up their records, they see the OGs going back into their memories and posting all the big fish they used to catch a long time ago and stuff. And they want to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of them can't.
They can't now.
You know what I mean?
Era.
It's a different era, right? A different angler.
Different angler, different era.
Right? And so I feel media, you could be whatever you want on media.
For sure.
Facebook specifically, right? Yeah. Hey, Facebook, if you're watching, which I'm sure you are, don't go delete me. This is just Ram Garcia's opinion, all right? Guys, throughout this whole show, right, this is just Chris and I's opinion, right? This is not to disrespect anybody or get mad or, don't go looking for me at Hurricane Alley this evening and block the lazy river or try to turn off the water or anything like that, right?
If they try.
You know what I mean? But I feel anybody could be anybody they want on social media.
That's true.
So when you try to do that and you're not that, other anglers that are trying to be better than that one person, they follow that lead,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it umbrellas into a group that is just, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm that, and I'm this, and you know what I mean?
Humans are either sheep or they're followers or leaders.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're either leaders or they're sheep
You're either a hunter
or a gatherer.
or a gatherer.
100%.
What else? What else is a good one?
Hey, this covers our lifestyle.
That's tough,
I
right?
really don't know.
Right. Here's to all the. You know what? We don't discriminate here at Spooled Life. Here is to all the hunters and gatherers, right? Here's to you all. But that's how I feel about it. There's I get that you have to start somewhere.
You do.
I get that.
You do.
I started somewhere,
We all did.
right? Is there a goal in mind? Right. Yes.
Of course. There's always.
There's always where there's not a specific top a bar where we say, okay, I've made it. You know, I'm done. Right. There is a lot of fresh meat coming into the industry that want this, right? Like when we were coming in, we saw the OGs doing this. I don't know if it's we wanted to get there and go past, or if just our generation had other expectations, right? There was not necessarily higher expectations, but there was just something else to get to where we're at.
Well, if it's one thing I can brag about in the kayak industry that has been far superior to the boaters out there, it's the fact that kayak fishermen, anglers, exploited the GoPro craze way quicker than the boaters. And the reason I say that is because a kayak angler is essentially somebody who puts his kayak in his garage and is modifying, DIYing stuff, and has nothing better to do on his off time than to improve his craft, right? His kayak. Boaters kind of just been a pretty boat sitting in the garage.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have excelled in the media game way better initially. Tides are changing in the last 2 years, but initially we were far better media guys representing our sport than any boater out there. I feel. Just look historically at all the media out there. Dude, the boaters were horrible. And I get it, dude. They're going 80, 90. I mean, how are you going to stabilize a camera and represent that until you stop and start fishing? But there just wasn't a lot of them, right? We're slow game. We can capture a scene. We can use our imagination to paint a beautiful picture about our industry and tell a good story. Our generation has definitely done that and has changed the entire game of fishing in regards to how we self-represent in a perfect, and if you want some proof in the pudding, I don't know if this stands true today, Ram, but I can tell you right now, in the last 10 years, our sport was the fastest growing sport in the world as far as water sports.
Really?
100%, dude.
Well, you know what? For that, let's give something away.
You ready?
I'm ready, man.
Let's do it.
What do we do? What are we giving away? What do we got?
Well, we have some lures. So I'm going to give you guys a decal, man. Not a lot of guys have.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out what we got. You got the back there?
So, gotta have it down here. Want to be floating Albertsons, you know what I mean?
This is top Kroger. If you're watching, you know who to contact.
First and foremost, how can I put this? Not a lot of people have this decal. I don't even give it to some of my friends. I'm sorry if you guys are watching. This is a decal that Ram has had, that Ruben Pena has had. Maybe a couple others. Marshall, if you're listening, you've had it. This is a sticker, a decal that is probably less than 15 out there floating. And this is just my personal branding decal, which is a Next Level Fishing decal. I'm going to give you guys, this is the modified, this is the new one. You at one point had the OG one.
Yep.
Ram.
And you could find this on YouTube, right? Next Level Fishing
Yeah, so
YouTuber.
you can find it in a lot of places. So I have my own website, nextlevelfishingtv.com.
Okay.
And then to just cut this short, if you just at Next Level Fishing TV, you'll find the brand everywhere.
You'll find it all.
Everywhere. Instagram, Twitter,
TikToker.
TikToker, Facebook, wherever. The other two things that I'm going to give you guys, this isn't a lot, but it packs a punch. I'm going to give you guys the South Texas Clearwater Topwater lure. It's got a nice little ring to it.
Yeah.
Something that I really enjoy throwing. I don't really throw a lot of topwaters, but when I do, it's going to be this one right here, Ram. They don't sell a lot of these, dude. Sometimes these are the quickest ones to get sold out in a lot of areas. It's that pink and gold.
One knocker.
Gold. I'm going to say it again, Ram.
Excuse me?
Gold. I'm going to throw that in there, plus my favorite other topwater. I'm going to leave that one a mystery. I'm just going to have it right here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one a mystery for you. That's when they're being kind of picky.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's also a couple of little clunker lures. I'm going to do a quick flash on it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would love, before I show you guys these, I would love for you to give me your input on them. All you need to know, you can at Next Level Fishing TV. If you do score a fish with this, if you are successful with it, I want to see a picture of it. And I'll put you on blast, dude. We'll talk about this show once again when it happens and be like, hey, this guy got him at Spooled Life Live.
There you go.
These are these little fly-ish lures.
Yeah.
But they can be used on conventional and spinning and all that. So
Good stuff. I'm also going to throw in a Forever Last wading belt. How about that?
perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
Forever Last wading belt. Lures that work for the first person. First person that tells me where Chris was getting beat up. It was not in the US of A. Where was it? Chris and his family had to. Chris's mom didn't have a work visa. That's what it was. She commented earlier on the show. She didn't have a work visa.
Oh, so she was illegal. Hey, Mom.
I didn't want to say it.
Hey, you can't be admitting that stuff.
I didn't want to say it. We already have a winner.
Boom.
Our winner, guys, our internet is what we go by.
Oh, what
Right.
better person?
There's some people's internet that,
What better person?
and yours is not it,
I know.
which is weird because I'm watching yours, but we got to go by what is on the Spooled Life Live.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Albert Guzman
What better person?
is the winner.
What better person?
Albert Guzman.
I did have Albert.
Oh, we did? Okay. I thought it was, I'm thinking, seeing somebody else. We're happy to have you on here, Albert. Another great angler.
Putting in effort, dude.
Slide into my DMs and we'll get this stuff shipped out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, we're not done. We're not done, right? We've already been going 48 minutes and we're already at question number 3. I told you we were going to go.
Hey, let's
It,
go.
it was going to get.
Wrap it up.
Let's pick it up.
Get on the treadmill.
Yeah, let's pick it up. Let's put that motor to use here, right? Passion over effort,
Tapped into a little bit of that.
right?
I always talk about that, dude. Effort's given, effort's free. Anybody can decide, I want to be a kayak angler. Anybody can wake up and say, I want to be a kayak angler. But what's going to separate you in the long run, a little bit of my advice towards anybody who's listening, is you need to be passionate. But here's the difference, okay? Difference is that if I talk to you right now, we're on Spooled Life Live, and we're talking to the audience, and I'm saying you need to be passionate. You got the effort already, because you're here. because you're watching. But are you passionate? But if you're passionate only because I'm telling you that you need to be passionate, well, that's not passion. If you're really trying to get to that next level in this industry, really trying to distinguish yourself, I think passion is you got to dream about it, dude. You know, when you're sleeping, but not because I'm telling you. You really, truly got to be thinking about this when you wake up, when you're at work, when you're on the water, when you're sleeping, when you're having dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, when you're in the restroom.
Before, during, and after.
That's the one thing that captured me, that changed my trajectory in life into kayak fishing, was the fact that I didn't realize it until years after. But I mean, I dreamed about this stuff, dude.
Really?
Everything that I had accomplished when we were younger, dude. When we were younger, before the white hairs,
Yeah.
dude, I dreamed about it. I dreamed about it all the time. I would wake up, be like
you wanted this stuff.
I don't know if it's I wanted it. Is just there's something that pulled at me, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, wanting is effort.
You needed it.
Wanting is effort. That's the difference. You got to dream about it, dude. It has to come natural. Not because somebody tells you, but if you're in this seat, if you're listening right now, I can guarantee you good things are coming. If you're listening right now on Spooled Life Live, and you're like, well, Chris, I definitely want it. Definitely love putting the effort. I'm there. My effort's there.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to get to that next step, what do I need to do?
Passion is just watching this show.
Exactly.
If you're at your house on a Saturday at an early show,
Yeah.
This show was at 11 o'clock.
No, I'm gonna one up that.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're watching this show and you're fishing,
Oh yeah,
28-mile-an-hour winds, which I don't recommend.
Yeah.
But if you're smart enough to know what you're doing and protect yourself and be safe on the water, and you're watching the show and you're fishing, chances are you just went in the right direction.
passion.
Passion.
I like that. I'll drink to that. Let's drink to passion. There's a man, that's good. I like to just leave it in my mouth and savor it.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So you're talking about the topic.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good too.
Well, I'm moving on, man, because we're about to close.
Okay, go ahead.
Right?
Go ahead. Keep going. Keep rolling.
People's side, there's when you're in this level, I'll use the word level, right? Well, I'm gonna when you're at your level, right? There's a people side and a business side.
Okay.
Of fishing.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line? There's a show.
I love this.
There's a show right now that's across social media. You cannot hide from this show. And this show is called iCast.
Yeah.
Biggest show in America. There might be a bigger show like in Japan or something, right? Biggest fishing show in America, iCast, right? Everybody, you will not hear, if you go to every one of those booths, and I could contest that because I was there. I mean, I might have been there. Right?
Not right. We'll keep that on the low.
Yeah. I could contest that when you go to one of those booths and you ask about let's just say, I don't know, right? Let's just say a lure, right?
Okay.
And you ask somebody a question about a lure, you're going to, especially at that show, you're going to get a not so honest opinion on products. Okay. You at this level of pro, I'm allowed to call you pro, right?
That's up to you, Ram.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when at this level of pro, at what point do you say, look, dude, this is what I would do with this lure, or this is, man, dude, I wouldn't use this lure, right? But there's places where people go that are like, dude, you have to have this lure, right? You got to have this lure.
Yeah.
When somebody comes out, I'm one of them, right? I'm affiliated with companies that a new product comes out and immediately they shoot an email, they shoot a text, they shoot something to the team, and they're like, "Hey guys, let's push this. You know, we want this push. Let's push this." That's the business side of it, right?
Right.
I get it. The companies have put in a lot of money for one, right, for this new product. Some companies haven't, right? Some companies are like, well, you know what? Let's use this. So we could say we have a new product, and it's really not a new product, right? But that's a different show. What I'm talking about is when you, Chris Castro, where do you draw the line from the people side of the business and a business side
Simple.
of fishing?
Simple, dude. Put your hands on it.
Right.
I mean, ICAST is a debut, right? So everything comes down to money. Everything. I don't care what you say. Everything comes down to money, right?
Right.
So we're in in an era where social media is a money driver, right?
Yeah.
You can invest in pushing your product digitally, or you can go out there and put yourself in a platform where reps, more credible, tackle shop owners, people that are actually going to invest in your product, they want to see it before they bring it.
Right.
Okay. And then you got those digital guys that are just like, because that's making such a big hype, because it's making such a noise, and because people are looking for it, I need to grab those views.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to bring them. And so there's a marriage that needs to be negotiated there. And it's failed a few times, right? We've seen all these hyped up products that are guaranteed to work, but then you put them in the hands of a true angler in real time environment, not just shaking their kayak around and trying to figure out, is it going to tip over or not? Nah. The real guys aren't idiots, and I don't mind saying that, dude.
Hell yeah. Hey, this is
The
raw,
real
man.
guys
We're raw
aren't
here.
idiots, and they're going to bring this stuff out and put it in real environment and actually test it and put it through the test of time and figure out if it's legit. So I think whenever you get these, iCast is great. I got nothing against iCast. I think iCast is phenomenal. It's the greatest physical platform to bring something new, and it's the greatest convention to really step into it and to feel it before you decide as a vendor, as a shop, as anybody, before you bring it into, all right, can we make this a business decision? It's your perfect spot. But you still have to put it in the hands of your ambassadors, your pro staffs, however you want to call it. The guys that are out there who are passionate about this industry and who are actually doing the work, you got to put it into their hands, use it and abuse it, try and break it to decide if we continue to move forward. So I love it. I love everything about it. I love the circus of it. You know what I mean? Because we're in a new era, Ram.
Yeah.
Hype sells,
Hype.
but time does not.
All right.
So
I wonder how many people attended. I wish we could get a ticket sales number.
you won't get them.
We won't get them.
Well, not this past one. So we're live, right? Are we live?
I'm not sure.
Are we still live?
Keep going though, even if we're not.
A lot of people are complaining about the iCast.
Really?
A lot of people, it just wasn't enough. Where's he, she, them? Where are they? You gotta understand, dude.
Oh, so they were there for an angler.
No, I'm just saying companies in general. A lot of people were complaining
okay.
that certain,
I like
there
that.
wasn't enough
I like that
things
though.
this year. You also got to understand that this is a business, and we're
I'm going to stop you real
okay.
quick because I saw those comments as well.
Everybody stopped over there.
That somebody wasn't there, a company wasn't there. I noticed that they weren't there.
Okay.
I feel that that's good that they weren't there.
Why?
Not in a negative way, but if you're not bringing anything new, ICAST is new.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I might be wrong, right? That's my opinion on ICAST. I'm going to go to ICAST. I'm going to go from Robstown, Texas, all the way to Florida, and I'm going to be able to see some of the newest stuff out in the industry. But when you get there, there's no new stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I get why a company would not want to pay the monies to bring their team, right? The monies to house their team, the monies to drive their team or fly their team all the way over there to showcase something that they could just showcase online or showcase what their pro teams are already showcasing on their media pages. You know what I mean? I feel like ICAST should say, guess what? This is the brand called Chris Castro. And then this is the brand called Ram Garcia. Hey, Ram, are you going to be coming to ICAST? I bet your ass I'm going to be coming to ICAST. Okay, what are you bringing? What do you got that's new? You haven't even showcased at all. Well, I got this Texas beer salt, you know. Man, we've already seen that about 1,000 times on Spooled Life Live. I was like, yeah, but I want more people. No, sorry, you cannot come. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris Castro, what you know, we got an extra booth set up. What are you bringing, man? I'm bringing this Texas beer salt that's jalapeno infused.
Okay.
So then ICAST is like, oh shit, we might, you know, that's new, right? Go ahead, let's come, right? But then you brought up earlier that it's about money, right? The business side,
Yeah.
right?
Economy, dude.
People see all these big badass parties going on after ICAST, during ICAST, right? It's a big fishing party. I get
Absolutely.
it. You want to see your friends. You want to see some friends you haven't seen in a long time. You know, you want to get your name out there, right? I was out here at ICAST, and this is what I seen. You know, this next week, guess what? I'm gonna be posting the hell out of ICAST, right?
Right.
Everything is gonna be ICAST.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
Right. That's my feel. Is ICAST like the Houston fishing show or the McAllen?
It's Houston Fishing Show is the ICAST of Texas.
Sure.
Yeah, but
It's not the McAllen Sportsman Show. That's the ICAST of Texas.
I mean they all represent a strong cover ground. And what I mean by that is, well, what are you pushing, right? So if when you say McAllen and that's it, you're probably talking about South Texas and it's strong. But if you go to Houston and say, hey, have you ever gone to this location? They probably would say no. Right. So unfortunately, not to say that the smaller venues are not as good, because that's absolutely not. I've been to some great venues that are a quarter of the size, like down as far as populace,
Like the big,
but have some
like
of
the Big
best
Franks.
stuff. Yeah, absolutely. That's where you really do get a good. I'll say this, dude.
I wish they would bring back the Big Franks fishing show here in Corpus.
I will say this, Ram. Sometimes if you go to smaller venues, smaller conventions, you probably get more value for your buck on honesty than you do it at some of these bigger ones.
Oh yeah.
100%. And you will only hear that on Spooled Life Live, dude. And I'm being serious, Ram. Like that's true, dude.
Oh yeah.
Because you're actually, these guys who come on smaller platforms, they're still they cannot afford to hire people to come work a booth for them, or they're just not at that level yet. So you're hearing it from the owners.
Oh yeah.
You're hearing it from the people who actually really do blood, sweat, and tears make these things. And to get to, like, in today's era, to start today and to say, you know what, in 5 years, I want to be over there. That period of growth, bro, you got to do a lot and you got to product test a lot. And it's very hard now because of social media and people like me and you.
Right.
We will weed out an ambassador, pro staff, whatever you want to call them. They will weed out what's gimmicky and what actually truly works. So, there's stages to this game, dude.
Yeah. What do you think the ICAST shows? Who do you think they
Spit it out.
shoot their attention to? The pros?
Well,
Or a
no.
consumer?
At that level, you're already well oiled. At that level, you're already well oiled. So you've already gotten to that stage of you've spent the money to get where you're at. The problem is that once you take that leap, it's up to that big company to figure out how he's going to maintain it.
Right.
Big companies eat up little companies every day, dude. Big companies eat up little companies every day. So I think it's still up to the angler to make enough noise if it's gimmicky or not. If it's true, if it's worth our attention to really product test this, if it's worth our attention to really concentrate on this, is it a game changer? You know,
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know
They
what I mean?
love
Everybody
that.
wants to label that,
Yeah.
right? And you could hit that at different levels. Man, I love the audience.
Zach Gibson
What's
is
up,
in the
Zach?
house.
How you doing, bro? How you doing, man?
Do you think that race has anything to do with it?
Who?
Race.
Ah, to what? Product development?
To be at a level that you're at.
No.
Do you think it
Well,
was harder for you to be the race you are?
so you're pulling the race card to be no. Well,
Well,
you don't want to pull a
hold
race
on real
card.
quick. Hold
But
on. Hold
I
on.
will say this.
Let me change my wording because I'm not pulling the race card.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if it's harder to be at your level, to be at the, let's just say you did get invited, right, to ICAST.
Okay.
And you're at the booth, you know what I mean? And people are coming up to you. Oh, shit, it's Chris Castro, dude. Hey. Can I get a pic with you? Because that happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
for
happened in
sure.
Houston? Were
Yeah.
you there with Houston? No, you weren't there.
No, I really don't go to the Houston. I will be cruising into the McAllen Sportsman Expo, which is, I believe, at the next weekend.
Okay.
Be cruising into that.
Let me know. Go.
Yeah, let's go. I'd like just to go check it out, what everybody's doing,
Yeah.
right? How they're pushing these products, right? How the fan base is receiving these.
Passion, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Passion.
You know what I mean? I like, and I buy stuff. You know what I mean? This is how people get food on their tables. You know, don't think that I'm just, oh man, I bet my UPS driver can probably say different,
Right.
but because he probably drops off packages at my house
So, Brian,
daily or every other day. But that's how people make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The booth owners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The people that throw on the expo. That's
Right.
how they make money. So I like to go and I like to give my 2 cents, of course, and I like to buy product. I like to buy product that I'm not affiliated with. You know what I mean? Just try it out, give
Yeah.
my honest opinion,
Okay.
right? The most honest opinion you could get is someone that's more than likely not going to post about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But back to my question, do you think race, right? And I'm not throwing the race card out here, but do you think at your level, if you were a different race than the race you are now, not saying that you are a bad race, but if you were another race, do you think it would have been easier to get at your level?
No. Okay, so very good question. There are races, right, that are a little bit more marketable in the industry. Okay. And there's even genders that are more marketable.
That's a good one nowadays.
It is. It is. And you know what? Hey, this is raw. Okay, this is raw. You're not going to get a cookie cutter show.
Yeah.
This is, if you're going to take this from somebody, me and him are going to just spill it out there. Okay. If you are female in this industry, you are more marketable.
We got a comment from Vela Vela. Race can be just depends on who you are.
Exactly, dude.
Right.
Because I will never use that as an excuse to why I did not get to where I am. This isn't 1930, dude. Okay. This is 2000. What are we? 26? Oh, we're 23. All right. Dude, what we know about that, like I'm not part of that segment that's going to I don't make excuses, dude. Okay. This isn't, if I get to where I'm at, it's because of effort. If I sense a little bit of that, okay, yeah, it does exist. If I sense a little bit of that where I'm at, I move on to the next phase, dude. I'm not in the business of crying. I'm not in the business of making excuses. We have enough in today's era to where that's insignificant. If you want to be a crybaby about that, well, then take it. And if it happens, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. It's here. It's here. There's,
Right.
but it's like this compared to our great great grandfathers. Okay, so
Oh yeah.
forget about that.
I think it's a lot bigger than that. I think it's hidden more. I think
Probably.
over the years the companies have learned how to hide it better.
Maybe,
You know what I mean?
maybe, Ram. But nobody is threatening your life over it. That's the difference. Okay. If you ain't threatening my life, all right, then we ain't got nothing to worry. If you're not getting in my face about it, then we got nothing to worry about it. If
Yeah.
you're not wanting
This is
to
all just for pretend.
turn the cameras off and go to a back alley, I ain't worried about it.
Well,
You're just bumping gums. Hey, talk is cheap, my friends, dude. Talk is cheap, Ram. It's cheap.
yeah.
Okay. So it's not, is it there? Yes, you're right. Does it make a difference? Maybe. Depends on
Have you
how.
ever gotten put in that situation?
No, dude.
No.
No, absolutely not. Never have I ever felt. But I've looked at certain things where I'm like, I wonder.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've looked at certain things. Not gonna lie, but that's our culture, dude.
Yeah.
That's DNA. That's stuff that we can't really.
That's weird, right?
It is, dude. It is, and it's that's probably the most negative part about what I would say about it is the fact that we just jump to that. But you know what? It goes back to my travel days when I was young. Trust me,
Yeah.
dude. Hey, the
Spain put
world,
that into
my
you.
friends, the world doesn't care what color you are.
Yeah.
U.S. here in the U.S., yes, yeah, they do. The world opened my eyes, dude, and I thank God for that, man, because my dad and mom taking me out to see the outside world and not just visiting, not just being a tourist, but actually living in not a American complex or no, we lived in the populace, dude. We got to see what they really think,
Mhm.
and it changed my perspective. You know, we're so bad about that, dude. I wish we would get over it already. It's got nothing to do with
That's tough,
this.
man. It's
It's
tough.
culture. It's culture. Culture's is far more discriminating than the color.
I wish I knew the guy's first name, but I forgot. But I do know his last name. His last name was Benitez. He was Professor Benitez out of Del Mar College. Uh, Probably one of the best professors I had in my college career. But I'm not gonna just skip over high school. Chipolito Garza, Robstown High, was probably the best. Was probably the best high school English teacher. I don't even know if he's still teaching, but if he is, and you're going to Robstown High School, make sure that your schedule has him because he was probably one of the. And then that's, dude,
Did you ever take my uncle?
probably not. Or if I did, I don't remember him. But I do remember Mr. Garza. And he was the kind of teacher that would give it to you straight, man. He didn't give a damn. And I hope I don't get him fired. But he was just for real, dude.
Really?
Yeah, he was,
In
dude.
what sense?
I hated school. And it was bad, right? I was young, young and dumb, right? We'll leave it at that. But I just didn't want to be there, man. I didn't want to be there because, and I know I was giving all the praise in the world to Mrs. Castro and Miss Castro,
Yeah.
both Castros, Grandma Castro
Garcia.
and oh, Grandma Garcia. Okay, Grandma Garcia and Mrs. Castro, Mrs. Garcia and Mrs. Castro, both teachers, and praise to all the teachers out there. But Hipólito Garza and Professor Benitez. Man, I want to say Albert, but I don't remember.
What is it that's what?
Well, I'm getting there. Hold on.
Build.
I know this is the Chris Castro show, but hold on, right? He would give us every day. It was pretty cool because it was something different every day. He wouldn't just open up his book and guess what, guys? This is what we have to learn today, right? You'd walk into Mr. Benitez's class and he'd be dressed up, dude, in something else out of the ordinary. And he would call it cultural diversity. And he'd be dressed up and he'd be like, hey, guess what, guys? This is called day one. This is cultural diversity. And tomorrow, it'd be on the board. This is what everybody will be dressed up as. So everybody would get involved in this stuff. And there was black people, there was Mexican people, there was white people. It was all kind of colors when you get into the college scene. Not so much high school, right? When you're in high school, you're all, you really don't know too much about that stuff. You probably skipped over that stuff, right? In college, you have to pay. You have to pay, right? So everybody's there, right? Everybody wants to go to Del Mar College, probably one of the prestigious colleges here in Corpus Christi that I attended, right? Man, I learned so much. Wherever you are, Mr. Benitez, I talk about this at least once a month, cultural diversity. And I feel all the way around, circle around, I feel that that's in the fishing community. Teams, right? When I'm choosing a team, I'm the pro team lead here at Roy's Bait and Tackle. When I choose a team, everybody brings in their own. You can't have 15 Chris Castros or 15 Ram Garcias, right? Or 15 Joe Alcalas or 15 Zach Gibsons, right? Everybody in the team, regardless of what color you are, regardless of what race you are, regardless of what ethnicity you are, brings in their own pop, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Other than effort, other than passion, I feel like you got to have pop in this industry.
It takes an individual, dude.
Yeah.
A specific individual. This is what we do is not for everybody, Ram.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that, but it isn't, right? You don't just, I mean, you can approach it like that, but you will get weeded out.
And you could blame it on that too.
Yes.
Right.
But passion will find you, dude, and it will bury you. Because there will be a younger version of you.
Oh, yeah.
There will be a more hungrier version of me and you that will eventually come in and say, you know what? He's going to burn your fire out.
Yeah. Everybody's fire burns out sooner or later.
Yep. 100%.
What gives you the fuel?
Me?
Yes.
So I don't compete with anybody. What fuels me is you set your goals, you set your standards, those dreams we were talking about.
Right.
Dreams are just dreams until they come true.
Yes.
But when they come true, then you start believing. And then when you start believing, man, dude, you get in this rhythm, almost spiritual, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you just get in this rhythm, dude, where it's like, man, like, what am I doing? What is my purpose here? And everything just keeps going and going and going. And you just got to keep continuing to find answers and compete against yourself in this industry. I think if you're not, and if you start competing a bit against Joe Blow next to you or Jon Snow, why did I say John? I don't even know why. Shout out to all you, what's that show called?
Oh, you talking about
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there you go.
Shout out to all you Game of Thrones out there. You just got to keep going. You got to love the game, and you got to push yourself. If you're not pushing yourself, if you're not trying to do better, then who are you competing against? You're competing against social media. You're competing against all these guys who are self-proclaimed anglers. But no, dude, that's not what's important. What's important is when you catch that 25-inch trout.
Uh-oh. Now we're talking.
That when you catch that head shaker.
There you go.
The 25-inch trout that you thought was 30.
Yeah.
And you lost it. And then 2-3 years later, you come back and you start patterning them. And you're like, dude, I just caught one that's bigger than that.
Yeah.
But it was only 27.
Right.
And then you go even further. Man, I got a 28 this year. Dude, I got a 29.75. I got one that I could not swipe on the dash with its mouth closed. I
couldn't even put it on couples fishing tournament because his tail was off the board. Right?
Yeah. So when you do that, you're competing against yourself, and I think that's what matters. That's what matters to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if you chase people, right, and you're just trying to be better than them, you are probably cutting yourself short.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I mean? If you could be so much better just competing against yourself.
Yeah.
Right? I hear it all. I hear a lot. I get messages all the time like, man, did Ram do this? And did you see what Ram did this? And hey, Ram's doing that and Ram's doing this.
I got a story for you. When
I feel like if these anglers would just focus on themselves,
Yeah.
focus on your content, focus on your media, focus on your pops, focus on your passion,
create your own path, dude.
it'd be a whole lot better.
Create your own path. If you don't create your own path, then you're just chasing somebody else's path. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, the peak of me was in the last 4 years. I'm in a transitional change. So I said this 4 years ago, and it ended up going in the positive direction versus the negative direction. So I don't know what's up ahead because I don't know the future.
Right.
But when a couple of my friends, you included, had entered the tournament scene, I said, you know what? To my audience, YouTube videos, I said, you know what, dude, I'm going to make a change. You know, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to go into the tournament scene, and I'm only going to give myself 4 years, and let's see what damage we can do. I would love to do this, 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 and that. I was able to do that, right? And so let's not talk about too much about that. Let's just sum it up. Okay, whatever I did in the last 4 years, you guys either know or don't know. But the fact of the matter is now that I'm picking a different trajectory, I get a lot from these kids. This is only my rookie year.
Yeah.
They're telling themselves that I got 3 years to be as good as this dude.
Yeah.
Because they know what I did in the last 3 or 4 years. Don't chase that. Don't chase that, dude. Because a little bit of fate and luck was involved in that, dude. Okay? And a lot of it. That was just, I don't know how to explain that, dude. Some of the stuff that me and you did, dude, I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Kind of like the UFOs.
It kind of like it, dude.
You just can't explain it.
It's unidentified.
Like, you know it's there.
Fishy objects that we caught.
It happened.
It happened, dude. It happened.
Still know.
It's in the history books.
Yeah.
People know about it. But the fact of my advice to
I bet
answer your
there's
question,
people wondering how much salt does this guy really have inside that shit. Right? It just brings this carbach, not knocking the carbach, right? Carbach, I know y'all are watching, but don't pull from the show. But
yeah, don't. More of the story before you go into that. Don't chase people, dude, because it will put you down a dark path.
Dude, it's tough, man.
No, it is. It is. I don't and the only reason I say that is because I've already had people try and do it.
Oh yeah.
I get so bummed out.
Yeah.
Try and do what we did in the last 4 years. No, dude, don't even waste your time. Carve your own path. Make your own history.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Everybody sees you as the YouTube sensation.
No, not sensation, but
No,
I carved my path out of the stigma of what YouTubers are in regards to blowing out spots.
Right.
You know, I wanted to paint the realistic picture.
Right.
I didn't want to paint the Chris Castro picture in the sense of I'm trying to make, like, I could have gone into the industry saying, you know what, dude, I'm in it to make money. No, I'm not selling
like
myself.
the movie industry.
I'm not selling myself. I'm not selling anything. I'm selling the sport. I'm selling the experience.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're in this era where, yes, you can make money. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll raise my hand to that, dude. But that's not what's important. It's not what's important, dude. What's important is your passion. You can make money with a little bit of effort.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can make real money with a little bit of passion.
There you go.
But that's not given to you, dude.
Right.
So
the YouTube sensation, right? And everybody's like, man, I want to do that. If I just do that, I could be next. It's my turn next when I do that. But what they don't know is there's a lot of work to make a YouTube video to where you walk into your bedroom and you pull up your PC and you pull up Next Level Fishing on YouTube and you say, hold on. Hold the hell on. Let me go make me some popcorn real quick because the intro just the intro is popcorn worthy.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of for a YouTube channel to get your attention at the first. I think all shows, whether it be Oprah, Dr. Phil, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, which is the one with that dude with the glasses.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah, that one.
But that one.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
You know, I feel that the first couple seconds, man, to grab the audience's attention and to be like, look, this is what this show is going to be about.
yeah. A lot of the OG.
That's what sets your show, Next Level Fishing, on YouTube, aside from all the other shows. And I mean, I give credit where credit is due. I'm not scared to give credit where credit is due, affiliated or not.
Yeah, appreciate
Here at Spooled Life Live, we do whatever the hell we want, right?
appreciate that. Yeah.
So I give credit to your show, and
Well, you've been a part.
it's a big deal.
That. You've been a part of that. Dude.
I was
So
hoping you would say that, right?
You've been a part of that, by the way. And so a lot of these OGs, they're like, oh, great, we're getting to see this again. But thing you got to understand with my fishing show, the intro is my acolytes. You know what I mean? Accolades. It's when you watch this show, you're seeing it in real time, and you never know what's going to happen. I've had a group of guys in the last 3 years when it went Selfish, Cobia, King, and Snapper. Those were my 3 target goals.
Yeah.
Trophy goals. And to be able to do that before it happened and to self-announce that, to say this is what we're doing, a lot of those guys have followed me along that journey and respect the struggle. Like when a lot of guys that have followed me and they see those 4 clips, they connect the fact that they were there when that happened on YouTube, when it happened just a few weeks after. And they went through the downs. They went through the ups. They went through the not so great episodes to get to that point. They earned that. Like they watched me get there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, stay true, dude. That's the bottom line. You got to stay true.
Last question of the show,
Gotcha.
because we've been going on for an hour and 27 minutes.
That ain't nothing.
No?
Nah.
All right, let's keep going then.
Still a line on the camera.
Not the last question then. I'm just kidding. This is the last question because I got to get ready for Hurricane Alley. I'll be at Hurricane Alley today. I'll be cruising the Lazy River.
Yeah.
The margaritas are on point over there. I'm not sure how much they cost. I mean, if you're worried about how much a margarita costs, why are you even going to Hurricane Alley? Right? We look up to all kayakers, right? We look up to all these high-end anglers, but do they look up to us when beaten?
Define beaten.
Tournaments,
Oh.
social media, right? You look at these.
Okay, go ahead.
You look at these media posts, right? I feel like the kayak angler has a lot more push in their posts, but that's not what this question's about. But I'm still going to explain it, right? There's a lot more push in a kayaker's post than there is on a boat angler's post. But the boat angler gets a lot more funding for his posts than kayakers get on their post. If that makes any sense, right?
You mean if you're a guide?
Guide, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, that's just economics, right? So a guide has to.
But the question to this is, when you're at a tournament,
Okay.
you've been at several tournaments, right? I have fished besides you in some of these tournaments.
Big ones. Big ones.
Super big, dude. Do you feel like we get the attention? Like, let's just say young Chris Castro, right? Coming out of Spain. He just got back to America. He's in Robstown, Texas, one of the biggest cities in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Got Barreras, you got HEB.
But
You know, you got the Aviator Stadium. You know, you got the newly built McDonald's, right? Doesn't have a play area, but it's all right. We don't need it. They're almost going to bring the McRib back. Just a heads up. Right. And you join these tournaments years later, right? You're a kayaker. Years later, you got your circle of friends. You're like, dude, none of these kayak tournaments are paying us. We get paid, right? You win first place, you win $5,000, you're all excited,
Comes a controversy.
right? You get excited and stuff, and you win 2,000. You're like, holy smokes! Let me do a recap, right?
Okay.
We love our recaps, right? But then you're in talks with your friends, right? On the way home, you can't even wait till you get home. On the way home, you're like, dude, did you see where the next tournament is? Yeah, it's probably over there in Port Arthur or South Padre or something. No, dude, it's in Corpus.
Yeah.
And it's a tournament. And your friends are like, wait, dude, we're in kayaks, man. What do you mean? They're like, no, dude, you can launch wherever you want. And we're like, hey, they're not going to let us. They won't let us. They won't let us play with these guys. So then we're like, hey, well, let's find out.
Okay.
This is the time where we jump to the next level.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you say some of the stuff. I'm not going to say it all, right? I'm not going to say all the story, right? You were there too, right? So then we find out, hey, guess what? We'll take y'all's money. Oh, really? All right, well, let's do it. So we get our team together and we go fish.
Yeah.
The outcome was good.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something to be proud of, It was something pretty badass.
Yeah.
It was badass. It wasn't pretty bad. Yeah, it was badass.
That story, whether you know it or not, hit Rick, Kayak Angler magazine, and traveled the entire world.
Oh, really?
International. By a lot of different magazine companies.
We should have told Rick to pay up.
We decided, dude,
I'm just kidding, Rick.
For somebody to do what we did, both inshore and offshore, we didn't have to put fuel in our kayaks, first off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care if you got a $100,000 boat or $1 million boat. We didn't have to put fuel. And to be able to win or be on a podium against that level of competition with limited ground is absolutely 100% great. But
Yeah.
here's the controversial side to it. Why are we not that great? Like, why do we have to do that, Ram, in the saltwater scene down here?
There wasn't a lot of people.
Like, why do we have to do that? To be...
Well, it's passion.
Okay.
Passion.
Okay. But why can't we have what the bass world has and just stay there? Like, what is it? What is it, dude? Dude, whether you guys know or not, the bass world, and this is sidebar right here, the bass world an angler can make over $100,000 a year in competition. Okay. Early on, if you rewind this podcast, I said, well, it depends on the culture because on what a pro is. The kayak guys in the bass world, those guys that fish that trail full time, I consider them pros because they're making $80,000 to $100,000 plus on possibly depends on how good and consistent they are. We don't get that in the saltwater side.
Right.
So my question to you, Ram, what are we like?
What are we lacking?
Why does Chris Castro? Why does Poco Cedillo? Why does Ram Garcia? Why does Dustin?
Dustin Nichols?
Why do we have to go against the odds to make a mark? Is it money?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not I always blame it on the tournament director.
Okay.
Right. But it's not him.
This is raw.
It's not the tournament director. It's the tournament sponsors. Maybe. This is just Ram Garcia's opinion, right? I think there's a lot of people, man. When you go up to a company, not just saying Roy's Bait and Tackle, right? Not just saying Carbach. When these companies, Sims Fishing Gear, right? Big companies. When you go to these big companies and you say, look, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm going to do. It's going to happen with you or without you. I'm going to do this tournament and I want this, and we're expected to have these many anglers, and I'm going to charge this much to get into the tournament because I want the high-end anglers. I don't want just the low-end anglers. I want high-end anglers, right? When those companies see that, I feel, guys, this is just Ram Garcia's opinion, right? I don't even know. I'm not even a tournament director. This is just how the mind of Ram Garcia thinks, right? I feel like these big companies are like, man, well, I mean, you're asking for a lot. How well did you do in your last tournament? You're wanting this much. Yeah, man, but it's going to be great. We're going to be doing great things with this. Next year, it's going to be even bigger. We want to start like this. And in the next 5 years, we're projected to do this. We want to see that. Okay, give me those numbers. I want to see all those numbers on a list. Give me what you're doing right now. I feel like those big companies just aren't on board yet with the saltwater kayak angler.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not. Yeah.
People get mad. Well, they won't get mad. People just don't. Or I hate to use can't, right? But ever since they did away with our stimulus checks, it's hard, right? It's hard to come buy a $5,000 kayak, right? It's hard to say, hey, babe, I'm going to go to Roy's Bait and Tackle and I'm going to buy this kayak, right? On the fly, right? Without nothing, just say, guess what? It's payday, or maybe not even payday. It's my money. I worked hard for it. And guess what, babe? Do whatever the hell I want to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn whose mouth I don't feed. That's tough, right? But you get to a boat tournament where the boats are hundreds. Is that hundreds, right? Hundreds of thousands?
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? That's just the boat. The motor is hundreds of thousands of dollars. And sometimes you got multiple motors on the boat, right? You got all this backing. Man, I could go for days on this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because it really gets to me why the kayak scene is not where it should be. I want to go to a kayak tournament, and I want the tournament director to be up there, and I want my own tournament captain's meeting. I don't want to be sharing a captain's meeting with other boaters or other levels of the boating scene. You know what I mean? I want to be fed, right? We paid a lot of money. Granted, it's not as much money as what boaters pay, right?
Right.
But we did pay money.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Is it 100% payout? No, it's not, right? You want us to keep on coming back? Give us something worth coming back for. It's not about the money. We said it early on in the show. It's not about the money. It's about the passion. You have to want this lifestyle. It's tough to have this lifestyle. Do you hear it at the house? Going fishing every weekend? Yeah, I guarantee it. Do you hear it at work? Hey, guess what? The wind's looking kind of low. Oh, shit, Ram's sick. Ram's going to be sick Wednesday. Yeah, you hear it at work.
Yep.
Do you win at the tournament? Probably not. But you still going. You still keep going.
Yep.
Right? You still have the passion to keep going. I want tournaments to give us something. There's a lot of tournaments that I've stopped going to. And there's a lot of tournaments, we're not going to mention them, but the tournaments that we speak about. Hey, are you going to go to this? No, I'm not. Why? Well, I don't like this. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
Right. I've been saying that for years. Well, I want this. Yeah. Right. I want to see this come out of tournaments. And I completely forgot what the question was about.
Well, can I put the
yeah, go ahead.
So, what you said was 100% accurate, and I'm going to challenge.
Let me put some more salt on my beer.
Yeah, go ahead. If you guys are friends with any major directors, this is the timeline you want them to listen into. Find out this timeline on Spooled Life Live.
We're at
what is it?
1 hour, 39 minutes, and 42 seconds.
You tap them in right here. Here's the biggest problem between us and the bass world. And this is a challenge, challenging you guys to step out of your comfort zone. And if you want to get on that level for us, well, then here's the biggest problem, Ram. We don't have any unifying. There's not a tournament trail. There's not an organization that understands how to unify a trail like the bass world has done, because we got too much pride in our own organizations. So, and this is, and you know what's crazy about this? All right, that's one. Somebody needs to come in and unify the major trails. I'm not going to name any names, but somebody needs to come in and unify the trails. Two, two is we have to change the culture down here on how we build up our purses and payouts. There's two ways of going about it. There's sponsorship money, and then there's getting money from the anglers. And in Texas, it's been too much from the anglers and not so much from the sponsors. Why? And this is controversial too, because I don't think they have the, it's easier to get it from the anglers than it is from the sponsors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is wrong. This is wrong.
Some of the directors want to keep the money too.
Yeah. And that's fine.
It's tough to do a tournament.
It takes money.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. Give me a good show. But if you want to really explode the industry, and here's where here's three. And I'm going to poke at the boaters on this.
Uh-oh.
It's funny how most of these boaters, and we're going to talk a little bit about money, economics, and strategy on this show. And you tag them, dude. It's funny, dude, how you got to pay more to get more. You got to be more invested to get invested on this trajectory. But the biggest fault on tournament directors is they do not understand the concept that we, as a populace of kayak anglers, we're not making we're not making $100,000 so we can afford a $50,000 boat, or your average guy is not making $200,000 or $300,000 net to afford a $3,000 Hobie, right? But there's story behind that. If it were the end of the world and all of a sudden these companies just had to say, you know what, we got to get rid of the boaters. They're not spending money. They're just, economy's down. I guarantee you it's more cost effective to build up the story of the kayak angler, because you got more different walks of life. You don't just have somebody who can afford a boat. You have somebody who's grassroots and can only afford this paddle kayak. It was $300 out of his shed, and this dude's destroying the competition against motors, against peddlers, paddlers, everything. It's more marketable, but vision, dude, and the passion isn't there to really take it to that next level, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there is more story to be told there. Right now, we're hearing predominant guides. We're hearing guys that are proven on the water. But what I want to hear, if we had a unification of all the big tournaments locally in Texas, just like Bassmasters does, if you could put all these guys in an aisle, regardless of, different walks of life, you're going to have a lot of different stories. You got content to work with. You got, man, dude, this guy, he just had a kid. And he's at the Saltwater Classic or whatever you want to name. That's what we need, Ram. That's what we need. And that's what we don't have down here.
It's been a hell of a show, dude.
It has, man.
Where can we find you at?
So I try and just keep it real simple. At Next Level Fishing TV. You can put that in Instagram. You can put that in Facebook. You can put that in YouTube. You can put that pretty much everywhere, dude. And it's going to Twitter.
Snapchatter?
Yeah, Snapchat. You can put that in TikTok, all that stuff. I have a website. It'll bring up the website. If you just put Google Chris Castro Kayak Fishing, it's going to bring up everything that I've contributed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
ChrisCastro.com, nextlevelfishing.com,
nextlevelfishingtv.com.
nextlevelfishingtv.com. I want to give a shout out to my headline sponsors for the show. Without you all, we wouldn't be anything, right? Roy's Bait and Tackle, Sarge Custom Rods, Forever Last Gear, Sims Fishing Gear, JRZ Lures, Z Pro Lithium, Stinky Pants Fishing, the Coke Law Firm, Cito Corpus Christi, and my favorite, Carbach Brewery. Man, guys, I hope you all learned from this show. I hope that this I know all of y'all's barbecue is probably burned up because you didn't have a chance to go outside and check it.
Hey, it's hot enough.
Right, it's hot enough.
Hey,
Y'all
you
don't
step
need
outside and you're already
Yeah, you don't
smoking.
need it cooked all the way,
Yeah.
right? It's probably just some fajitas, seasoned to perfection. Side of refried beans, Spanish rice, guacamole, little bits of pieces of habanero peppers in there. Give you the right heat, right?
Chili piquin?
Chili piquin too, right? Nice, freshly made tortilla, right?
From mama.
Right.
From grandma.
Grandma's recipe.
They don't make them like they. I better not even. Better not.
Right. Yeah, let's don't even go there. Guys, the next show be out here in a couple weeks. I'm headed to the river. I hope it's got water over there. I'm not sure.
It's artificial.
Yeah, somebody tag if there's water flowing at the Frio. Do I even attempt to take my tubes, or I just leave them at the house? Right. It's been a hell of a show. Thank you so much to the Chris Castro coming out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Go check him out on Next Level Fishing TV, YouTube, and Next Level Fishing TV on all your other media sites, right?
Yes, sir.
We'll check you out next time. Like I said, the next show will come out in a couple weeks, 2 weeks, I guess,
Yeah.
around there,
Yeah, 2 weeks.
right? We'll see y'all next time.
Later.